So this video is maybe going to be a bit shorter than my normal predictions, and I'm also a bit late with it. That is because I have sprained both my ankles, so just standing up can be a bit of a challenge. But I still wanted to get out my predictions. This upcoming week, or this week as we are in now, sees the start of another 3 tournaments on the ATP Tour. We've got 2 500 events in Acapulco and Dubai, and 1 small little 250 event in Santiago in Chile. Now, the Dubai Open, the Dubai Duty Free Open, or whatever it's called, has already started. So I do know some of the results, but I did do my prediction before the tournament actually began. And I haven't changed any of them. So this is my video covering the Dubai Open and who I think will win each and every match and win the entire tournament. So quickly stating this, this video will be constructed in the following way. I will look at one side of the draw, follow that to the final, jump to the other side of the draw, follow that to the final, and in the end, I'll tell you who I think will win in Dubai. Now, looking at the left side of the draw, the first matchup is Daniil Medvedev against Alexander Shevchenko. Medvedev is finally back after his Australian Open final run. He's withdrawn from a couple of tournaments in Rotterdam and Doha with injury, but he is finally back and he faces Shevchenko in the first round. And this is a tough matchup for Medvedev. In general, his draw is tough, but I do think he's just so much better than Shevchenko, and I think he'll win quite comfortably in 2 sets. He will then face either Sumit Nagal or Lorenzo Sonego. Now, in my opinion, Nagal is one of the players who has had the best year so far, primarily on the Challenger Tour where he's been exceptional, but he also did go to the second round of the Australian Open, beating Alexander Bublik in that first round. I think he'll pull off another shock win here. I think he'll beat Lorenzo Sonego in 3 sets. We then have Jakub Mensik coming from his final run in Doha to face Borna Coric in the first round in Dubai. Now, I think now people will know what Mensik is all about and know just how much he can do, and they will expect him to keep performing at a high level. I think he'll do wonders this year. I think this week he will feel the length of the matches and he'll feel the battles he had to go through last week, and I think he'll actually fall to a loss to Borna Coric in 3 sets in Dubai. And Coric will then face either Marozsan or Davidovich Fokina, and Marozsan hasn't done well these past few weeks. Davidovich Fokina, as I've said in every video I've done covering the tournaments he's playing in, he can lose to anyone. He can beat basically anyone. Last week he lost to Mensik in the first round. This week I think he'll beat Marozsan to then face Coric in the second round. We then have Hurkacz up against Struff, and I think Hurkacz has struggled as of late. He's played a lot of long and grueling matches and had to save match points against Lehečka in Rotterdam, and he's just not been finding it as easy as he did last fall. I think he'll beat Struff, but I do think once again he'll go to 3 sets to do so. Then we have Maximilian Martyra up against Christopher O'Connell, and O'Connell was decent last week. He was pretty okay, and I think he'll start off with a win here as well. I think he'll beat Martyra in straight sets. And he will then face Shapovalov or Murray, and this is one of the matches that has actually been played. And I already know that I was right about this. I had Murray to win in straight sets. My thought process was, I think both players are really struggling right now. But Murray did just break his losing duck last week, or he broke his losing streak, more to say, by actually winning a match in Doha. And I thought he'll keep that going, and I thought he would beat Shapovalov, and he did win in 3 sets, just as I said he would. We then have Monfils up against Ugo Humbert. This is a rematch of the quarterfinals from last week, where Monfils absolutely destroyed Humbert. Humbert was so bad, especially in the first set. And I think Monfils will continue that. I think he'll win once again in straight sets against Humbert. Looking at the left side of the draw's round of 16 matches, if my predictions are correct, we then have Daniil Medvedev up against Sumit Nagal. And as good as Nagal has been this year, Medvedev is just on another level. And I think Medvedev will quite easily win this in straight sets to go to the quarterfinals again. where he will then face either Borna Coric or Alejandro Davidovich Fokina. This is a match I see swinging both ways, but Coric hasn't really impressed me for quite a long time. Davidovich Fokina sometimes surprises me, sometimes lets me down. I think he'll win this in 3 sets, Davidovich Fokina, and I think he will face Medvedev for a match where, as I said, he can beat the great players, so he might have a chance. Stay tuned to see what I think. We then have Hubert Hurkacz against Christopher O'Connell, and once again, I think Hurkacz will have to battle. I think he will struggle, and I think he will just pull off the win. But I think it will be very, very difficult for him, and I think he will go to 3 sets once again. And the last matchup in the round of 16 on the left side of the draw will then be Andy Murray against Gael Monfils. 2 players that are excellent at defending. Monfils had some incredible points last week where he was just defending his ass off and then finishing with a wonderful winner, primarily on the backhand side, especially against Mensik, where he was just outrageously good at defending. Mensik, of course, won the match, but Monfils had a lot of positives to take away from it. And I think Monfils will continue the good form and beat Murray in straight sets. We then have Daniil Medvedev in the quarterfinals against Alejandro Davidovich Fokina. And as I said, this is where Davidovich Fokina steps up. But I don't think he will win it. I think he'll take it to 3 sets, but I do think Medvedev will win and go to the semifinals once again, where he will face either Hubert Hurkacz or Gael Monfils. And as I've said during this video, Hurkacz has been finding it difficult to get the wins. Monfils has been playing very, very well. I think once again Hurkacz will go to 3 sets, but this time I think he will lose. I think Gael Monfils will win like 6-3 or 6-4 in the 3rd set and go to the semifinals against Daniil Medvedev, where I think Medvedev will win in straight sets. I think Medvedev will go to his 2nd consecutive final in Dubai, and whether or not I think he wins, you'll have to stay in and see, because now we're jumping to the other side of the draw, where the first match is Alexander Bublik against Tomasz Machacz. Now, this is another match that has actually already been played. I thought Tomasz Machacz would win. However, Bublik did get the win. So, I know I'm not going to get any points from this, but my thought process was Bublik has been a bit up and down. Primarily, he's been good this year. So, it shouldn't come as a surprise. It probably didn't from most people. I just thought Machacz was playing some good tennis this year, and I thought he would win. He didn't, so my prediction doesn't really matter. But Bublik will be facing Griekspoor in the 2nd round, because that's another match that has already finished. I had Griekspoor to win in 3 sets. In reality, he won the 1st set, and then Shelby had to withdraw. I didn't watch the match, so I don't know. I'm guessing Shelby was probably injured, but I can't be 100% sure. But Griekspoor did win. He just didn't do it in 3 sets because Shelby withdrew. We then have Jiri Lehečka up against Marton Fucsovics, and Jiri Lehečka he's had a good year so far, but Fucsovics has also been pretty good as of late. So I think this will be a very intense match and a very interesting watch, but I do think Jiri Lehečka will pull out and win in 3 sets. He will then face the winner of Alexei Poprin against Karen Khachanov. Now, Khachanov is obviously coming straight off his title win in Doha, where he actually faced Poprin, playing out an insane, especially 1st set, where Khachanov won 14-12 in the 1st set tiebreak. Poprin then had some physical issues, and I'm actually not even sure if he'll be able to play, because he got some sort of injury in his abdominals or his side stomach muscles, his oblique, or wherever it was he was injured. He had some issue that took his service speed off, and the match sort of died after that. So I don't know if he's gotten over that or if he'll actually play. I think Khachanov will win against Poprin once again if Poprin does play, and I think Khachanov wins in straight sets. We then have Adrian Mannarino up against Botic van de Zandschulp, and this is another match that has been played, and another match where I now know that I was correct. I had Van de Zandschulp to win in straight sets. My thought process was the fact that since the Australian Open, where Mannarino was double bageled by Djokovic and lost in 3 sets, he has gotten a walkover win against Nishioka. He got a win against Duckworth in Dallas, where Duckworth had to retire from the match. and he's then lost twice in a row to Marcos Giron, where Giron has destroyed him in both matches. So I just thought he's in terrible form right now, Mannarino. I just thought he would lose once again, and he did. He lost in straight sets to Van de Zandschulp, just as I thought he would. And Van de Zandschulp he's actually already got his opponent for the round of 16, which is going to be Sebastian Korda, who played Kotov today, and I thought it would go to 3 sets, but I did have Korda to win. Korda did win, but he did it in straight sets. We then have Lorenzo Musetti up against Arthur Cazaux, and Cazaux has really impressed me this year. He's been so good, and especially the match against Holger Rune, of course. He just played so well. And Musetti has been absolutely awful this year. And I think once again Musetti will lose very early on. I think he will lose in straight sets to Cazaux. And Cazaux will then face either Xixin Shang or Andrei Rublev, a match that is playing right now. I don't know I don't know how far along they are in the match. My guess is Rublev is going to win in 3 sets, but I don't really know. As I said, I don't know how long into the match they are. But I do think Cazaux will face Rublev in the second round. Which then sets up, well, it's going to be Bublik against Griekspoor, but my prediction was Machac against Griekspoor. And thankfully, given the fact that I now know that Machac is already out, I had Griekspoor to win that match, so I do still have a chance at getting some points. I had Griekspoor to win in 3 sets to go to the quarterfinals, where he will then face either Yuri Lehechka or Karen Khachanov. And I think usually when you have a title run, you experience some sort of fatigue the next week. But Khachanov really didn't spend all that long on court in Doha. He actually had a lot of straight sets wins, and against Emil Ruusuvuori, he had to play, 3 games, and then Ruusuvuori had to retire. So I think he's actually going to be fairly fresh for this week. And even though Lehechka is a great player, I think Khachanov will continue his winning form and go to the quarterfinals against Talon Griekspoor. We then have another round of 16 match that has already been decided. It's not been played yet, of course, but it is Botic van de Zandschulp up against Sebastian Korda. And I think Korda will win again in straight sets. I know I had him to win in 3 before, but he did win in 2 today, and I think he will win in 2 sets again against Botic van de Zandschulp. And the final round of 16 match is Arthur Cazaux against Andrei Rublev. Now, I really like Cazaux, and I hope he'll win. Not that I have anything against Rublev. I just hope Cazaux wins because I like him. But I am going for a Rublev win in 3 sets. I think Rublev will want to do better than he did last week in Doha, where he lost to Mensik, and I think he will win. Which then sets up 2 quarterfinals, where the first one is Talon Griekspoor against Karen Khachanov, and this is where I think Khachanov's winning form will be broken. I have a good feeling about Griekspoor this week. I think he will play very well, and I think he'll go to the semifinals. I think he'll beat Khachanov in 3 sets. And in that semifinal, he will face, according to my predictions, either Sebastian Korda or Andrei Rublev. This is, I think, a really fun match. This is going to be a very well played match and very entertaining match. But I do think Andrei Rublev will be the one to win it in 3 sets. And in the semifinal, again, I have a good feeling about Griekspoor. I think Griekspoor will win in straight sets against Rublev to go to the final in Dubai, where I think he will lose to Daniil Medvedev. Griekspoor has already lost 1 ATP 500 final in Washington last year against Dan Evans. And this time, I think he will lose once again, this time to a better player than Dan Evans in Daniil Medvedev, who I think will return to winning ways, having taken about a month off. And yeah, I just think Medvedev will have a good week. As I said in the beginning, it's a tough draw for Medvedev, but Medvedev, he is quite clearly good enough to face a tough draw and still win the tournament. So those are my predictions. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed it, please consider liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and writing a comment down below. Tell me who you think will win in Dubai. Will it be Medvedev? Will he defend his title here from last year? Or will it be someone else? Do you think Griekspoor will do as well as I think he will? Or who will have a fairy tale run? Tell me what you think down below, and once again, thank you so much for watching this video. I'm sorry I have to sit down. My ankles are killing me right now. Thanks for watching the video. Have a very nice day.